A Louisville family is demanding answers and action after body camera video was released showing the final moments of the life of 28-year-old Katelyn Hall. Hall was shot and killed by LMPD officers on March 27th while suffering a mental health crisis. Today, some of the community gathered at Jefferson Square Park calling for a system that responds to a crisis with care, not force. Wave News reporter Meredith Lee has that story.
Behind me, the people who love Katelyn Hall gathered not just to grieve, but to demand answers. A week after body camera video showed the final moments of her life, her family says what they saw only deepened their pain. In the video, you can hear Katelyn Hall in crisis. LMPD Deputy Chief Emily McKinley says officers tried to talk her down.
It sounds like she's talking right now.
And that it's clear by their actions they were trying to help her. But many questions remain, including whether the response matched their own protocol.
Katie was in the moment of a mental health crisis. She needed compassion. She needed patience. She needed trained support. Instead, what she received cost her life.
Saturday's rally drew community members, organizers, and elected officials all calling for the same thing, a system where a mental health crisis call doesn't end in death.
My best friend is Andrea Jackson, and she has helped raise Katie. When I realized who it was, it literally like somebody hit me with a sledgehammer. It just blew me away. She was not an aggressive girl. She was very sweet.
Many here pointed to a 2023 Department of Justice report launched after Breonna Taylor was shot and killed by LMPD in 2020, which found the department discriminated against people with behavioral health disabilities and called for reform. 3 years later, they say nothing has changed.
People should be able to call for help without risking their lives.
City leaders have expressed interest in a co-responder model, pairing mental health professionals with officers on crisis calls. The family says that conversation is long overdue.
And if her life is to mean something beyond this tragedy, then it must push us and others to do better, to train better, to respond better.
The investigation into what happened that night is still ongoing, but the people gathered here are not waiting for answers. They're pushing for change. In Jefferson Square Park, Meredith Lee, Wave News.